Welcome to Enlightenment Unknown, Life of a Spiritual Nomad. Join Reiki Master and Quantum Healing expert Wes Coons as he guides listeners through the depths of self-discovery and spiritual enlightenment to uncover the version of you we haven't met yet. Hello and welcome back to Enlightenment Unknown, Life of a Spiritual Nomad, where we are going behind the scenes of Season 2, Episode 2, The Vision Quest.
Andrea, thanks for being here. It's going to be a good show. We've had fun doing this, and I'm excited to hear the questions.
As you always are.
I'm always excited about
and
the
surprised.
questions. Yes. I'm shocked.
Well, I do have just a few questions for you. And let me start with the prayer ties. So you spoke quite a bit about the prayer ties in this episode, and you had said that when you connected them around the circle and you put the two ends together, it was like getting the shock of an electric fence.
Yes.
Can you tell us more about that?
Yeah, man. I mean, I've never experienced it before, and I haven't experienced it after, because I've tried to do that again. And so it goes to the sacredness of that ceremony, the strength, the gifts, whatever you want to call what Lakota brings to the table. It's extraordinary. I mean, I could feel the electricity go through that. The dog, remember you talked about the dog could see it, and then nothing can come in afterwards. It was really powerful and beautiful.
Yeah, and I wanted to mention that because if you guys have been listening, hopefully you tuned in to those special episodes we had with Lakota One Heart. And when she was here, I don't know that we talked about it on the show, but I recall her saying that prayers are as powerful as an atomic bomb.
She does say that. Our prayers are that powerful. Look at your life. If things, let's just put it this way. If you are not in a good place, you've manifested that. You might not want to hear it. You might not understand it fully, but your thoughts, your actions, your words, and your heart are in alignment with where you're at. It doesn't mean you don't like it, but it's what you're familiar with most of the time. And our prayers can change things in a second. It's really, really interesting. I had seen this guy a couple years ago. I don't know if we talked about it on the show. I feel like maybe once or twice, but I don't remember half the stuff I talk about anyway, so there you go. I'm always shocked with my great humor.
You didn't know what episode we just recorded.
Yeah, I didn't. I was like, what the hell did we just record? I'm still recovering from this concussion, so bear with me. And but long story short, this guy, the scientist, took bottles of water and they had these people log in on a Zoom and do prayers for the bottles of water. And when they froze the water and they looked at it, the molecules were really pretty. And the bottles of water that did not have prayers, the molecules were goofy looking. It's interesting. There's lots of research and stuff that talks about how this is real.
Yeah, absolutely. There's a ton of research on it. And I mean, you talk about it. Lakota has talked about it. Margaret, when she was here, she was talking about how powerful our thoughts are. So
yeah. It's cool.
It's fascinating. Okay, so my next question is, you were there. The Vision Quest was for 3 days, and I think you kind of did answer this in the episode, but I want to get some clarification. So you were there for 3 days, but let's say you got all of the answers and everything that you needed in day one, could it have just been over in one day?
Yeah, she said that it might go shorter. She would know, because just like when I do healing work, I know when it's done. I know if I take you on a journey to go find the pieces of you that have been broken off from divorce and death and stuff like that. You go through something traumatic and a piece of you is missing afterwards. I know how to go find that person, that piece of you, and bring it forward. So I know when it's done. And the cool thing is I can see what my client sees when we do that. And so the ancestors talk to her, God talks to her. I don't fully understand it, how it works, but I know what it does, and I trust her. So yeah, I was kind of hoping the second morning I was done. But at the end of the day, honestly, I knew I wasn't. So I'm glad she made me stay.
Yes. That's interesting. Okay. So, and you got more nuts. I mean,
yeah, I got more nuts and a hard-boiled
Yeah.
egg. Ty sitting there eating damn fried chicken and cupcakes in front of me. He's like, "Sorry, bro. Yeah, we're having ribs tonight." And I'm like, "All right."
Go Ty. All right. So the next thing I want to talk about is you were discussing how after being up on the mountain for a little bit of time, it gets very painful. You had a lot of back pain. You were experiencing a lot of, just not emotional stuff, but physical pain. And as soon as you spoke your truth, boom, the pain went away. Can you just tell us a little bit more about that?
Yeah, when we don't process our feelings and emotions properly, it manifests in pain and disease in our body. And I was in a sacred ceremony. I was in a sacred circle. I was in a sacred energy. And that broken little boy, that victim energy, that disconnected Marine, that angry Marine, that fucking motherfucker that just won't go away was just sitting there in a meat grinder day in and day out in my life. And all that manifests in my back. And I was just riddled in pain. My feet hurt, and your feet help you move forward, and your lower back carries the weight of the world. And so energetically, the different parts of your body represent and mean something. Everything was out of alignment. Everything was not right. Everything was miserable. Everything was broken. Everything was lost. And when I looked inside deep enough, put my ego to the side, and took responsibility for my life and said the words, "I give up on myself," released that energy and allowed me to step out of victimhood into stepping into my power, probably for one of the few times of my life. And it set me free.
Yeah, that's beautiful, Wes.
So I've been looking at that, and every day is not perfect. I make mistakes. There's days I don't choose me still. Not as many as before, but I took that to heart. I had that sacred ceremony. God showed me that. God brought me to Lakota. All these things happened for a reason. I went through that haunted house. There's the exorcisms, the things crawling on me, the things ripping my skin, the stuff that you're not even going to hear about because it's too graphic. I went through all of that. What, not to fucking pay attention? Not to do the work? There's so many people that say all the cool words. Oh, blah, 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 blah. Hippie, hippie, hippie is all I hear them talking about. I call this hippie shit, by the way.
He does.
But they say all the beautiful words and, blah, blah, blah. But you ain't doing the inner work. You're not taking responsibility for yourself. You're not healing your stuff. You're not taking accountability. You're not apologizing to people. You're not stepping up. You've got to do those things. You got to be humble. I tease I'm shockingly good looking. You know why I say that? Because my whole life I thought I was fucking ugly as shit. That's the nicest way I could say it. I was told, you're ugly, you're weak, you're stupid. Nobody wants you, nobody likes you, nobody loves you, for years as a child. And pretty soon you believe that. So I tease about it now because I am trying to get my mindset that maybe I'm not ugly. Maybe I'm a nice looking person. Something I'm working on. So that's why I say that. And I think it's kind of funny.
It is funny. And we'll let you guys decide once we do video podcasts. How
yeah. Hey, you know this song? What does it say? video killed the radio star or something. We never know.
All right. So my next question, Wes, is when Lakota told you when the dragon appears, you get to ask it one question.
Mm-hmm.
And then you asked it a question, and then you asked it 6 more. Why? Why did you keep asking questions?
Well, I'm like, you got something staring at you. I'm like, all right. Well, I'm thinking, is that really a question? I mean, where do you eat? I want some of that. I'm hungry. You get one question. I'm like, I seen it, and it's like prematurely shot my question out. I'm like, damn it.
I loved it. That was my favorite part.
Yeah, that was great. I'm like, what's my purpose on this planet? I'm like, God damn. I mean, it was a good question. It's not like I had another question. I didn't know what to say. I didn't know what to ask it. And you're to be a great healer. I'm like, all right.
That is a good question. I mean, everyone wants to know.
I know. I should have asked what the fucking lotto is.
I know, right?
Right? Give me the lotto number. I just heard. You already know it. Well, do I? Because I've been playing the numbers that come into my mind. Ain't nothing happened. And there's Sandra Grace. More will be revealed. I can hear her literally. When Margaret was in here earlier, it's not going to be on the episode or the show that you hear, but Margaret came in, my mom came in, my brother that just passed away came in, some other people. And Margaret is very sensitive to energy. And it's just kind of funny. She's like, all of your people are here. And I'm like, sorry.
Yeah, that was pretty incredible.
She's funny. She's very, very gifted.
Very much so. All right, well, Wes, those were the only questions I have. But I do want to say, let's remind people to submit questions.
Yeah, give us questions. You can find us on Instagram at VB Healer. Where do they find you, Andrea?
An Abundant Universe.
Yes, and you had a book not too long ago come out.
Yes, the vibrational mastery at high vibration is your superpower, because it really is.
Yeah,
really
and you have a podcast.
How good it can get, because, hey, let's see how good this life
because
can get.
Shit can get real. That's right.
Yes.
Yeah, we got more and more listeners. We're going to be on some podcasts for some paranormal groups who wanted to talk to us, so we're going to be on some of those sooner than later. And my book just came out, The 15-Minute Transformation, and I started my next book, and, we're just doing different things. Oh,
yes.
What is the children's book that we just came out?
Oh, Sydney's Bike.
Sydney's Bike.
Sydney's New Bike.
Yeah, Sydney's New Bike. It teaches and talks about manifesting. It teaches your child how to manifest.
Random acts of kindness.
Yeah, random acts of kindness. It teaches about inspired action. Sydney meets a little girl in a wheelchair, and long story short, the community and everybody come together, raise money for this little girl to get a wheelchair. It's a beautiful story, and it's on Amazon. All our books are on Amazon.
Yes, and if you have not already read What Color is Your Dragon, that is the book, the children's book that started it all, really. And Sydney's New Bike is the second installment in the Enlightened Children series. We have many more in the series planned. So, start with those and get caught up.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure Dr. Phil is going to be picking up these books and having us on TV.
Oh, I'm sure, because we're manifesting.
We're manifesting that shit. Yep, he's going to buy me some tacos, too, because I'm hungry. But thank you for listening to the show. We appreciate you. And remember, you can have everything in life that you want. You can be the person that you want to be. You can raise your vibration. You can learn how to love yourself. You can heal the trauma that has haunted you for your whole life in a moment when you pay attention to what we're teaching you. And when you have questions, reach out.
All right. Thank you, Wes.
All right. See y'all soon. Bye-bye.
Bye. You've been listening to Enlightenment Unknown with Wes Coons, your guide on the quest for self-discovery and the version of you we haven't met yet.